Have you ever had a conversation about buying a new couch only to see furniture ads flooding your social media feeds minutes later? Or mentioned wanting to visit Greece in casual conversation, then suddenly notice vacation rentals for Greek islands appearing everywhere you look online? What if I told you that your phone isn't actually listening to your conversations through its microphone, that the truth behind this digital mind reading is far more sophisticated and terrifying than simple audio surveillance? Today, I'm going to reveal how your devices predict your thoughts and desires using principles that connect to Emmy Noether's deepest insights about information conservation and pattern symmetry. The real mechanism behind this technological telepathy will shatter your understanding of privacy, prediction, and the hidden mathematics governing digital surveillance. The mystery begins with an experience so universal and unsettling that it spawned countless conspiracy theories and congressional hearings. You're having a private conversation about something you've never searched for online, maybe planning a surprise birthday party, discussing a medical concern, or just casually mentioning a product you saw online. Then, as if by magic, your phone and computer start showing you ads for exactly those topics. Your first instinct is obvious. The phone must be listening to every word you say. But the reality is both more reassuring and more disturbing than simple microphone surveillance. To understand what's really happening, we need to explore how information flows and accumulates in the digital ecosystem, following principles that Emmy Noether would recognize as conservation laws applied to data rather than energy. Just as Noether proved that conservation laws emerge from fundamental symmetries in physical systems, modern digital advertising relies on information conservation principles. Data cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed and transferred between different forms and locations. The truth is that your phone doesn't need to listen to your conversations because it already knows more about your life than your closest friends do. Every digital interaction you have creates what computer scientists call behavioral signals, tiny fragments of information that seem meaningless in isolation but form incredibly detailed patterns when aggregated with mathematical precision. These signals follow the same statistical patterns that Emmy Noether studied in physical systems, where small symmetries and regularities compound to create predictable large-scale behaviors. Consider the information your phone collects without ever accessing your microphone. Your location data reveals where you go, when you go there, and how long you stay. Your search history shows what questions occupy your mind. Your app usage patterns demonstrate your interests and habits. Your social media interactions expose your relationships and influences. Your shopping behavior indicates your preferences and financial situation. Your calendar reveals your schedule and priorities. Each data point is like a conservation law in Emmy Noether's physics, a constraint that limits the possible states of your future behavior. But the real sophistication comes from how this information is processed through machine learning algorithms that identify patterns across millions of users. These algorithms discover what mathematicians call invariant properties, relationships that remain constant despite surface-level differences between individuals. If millions of people who search for exercise equipment also tend to buy protein supplements within 30 days, the algorithm learns this invariant relationship and applies it predictively to new users showing similar patterns. The appearance of telepathic advertising often results from correlation networks that would astound Emmy Noether with their mathematical elegance. Your friend mentions wanting a new couch in your conversation, then goes home and searches for furniture online. The algorithm knows you two are connected through location data showing you were together, through social media connections, through shared Wi-Fi networks, through messaging patterns. When your friend's search triggers furniture advertisements, the system automatically extends those ads to people in their correlation network, including you. This represents a profound application of network theory and information cascades. Just as Emmy Noether studied how physical properties propagate through systems while preserving fundamental quantities, digital advertising algorithms track how information and influence propagate through social networks while preserving the statistical relationships that make targeting profitable. Your phone doesn't need to hear your conversations because it can infer your interests from the digital shadow cast by everyone around you. The timing coincidences that make this seem like audio surveillance actually reflect sophisticated prediction models that anticipate when you're most likely to be interested in specific products or services. These models incorporate seasonal patterns, life stage indicators, behavioral triggers, and social influences to predict optimal advertising moments. When you suddenly start seeing ads for something you just discussed, it's often because the algorithm correctly predicted that now would be the perfect time to introduce you to that topic based on patterns learned from millions of similar users. The mathematical frameworks underlying these predictions would fascinate Emmy Noether because they represent conservation laws for human attention and purchasing behavior. Just as energy cannot be created or destroyed in physical systems, consumer demand cannot appear from nothing and must flow from existing interests, needs, and influences that leave digital traces. The algorithms track these demand conservation principles to predict where purchasing energy will flow next. Location data provides particularly powerful predictive signals that don't require microphone access. If you visit a baby store, the algorithm can reasonably infer interest in baby products without hearing any conversation. If you frequent gyms but haven't in weeks, fitness equipment ads become more likely. If your location patterns change, new routes, new destinations, changes in routine, the system flags you for life transition advertisements like moving services, job sites, or relationship apps. Your browsing patterns create what information theorists call semantic fields, clusters of related concepts that indicate underlying interests and intentions. Even if you never explicitly search for vacation information, visiting weather sites for Mediterranean destinations, reading articles about European culture, and browsing travel blogs creates a semantic field that suggests vacation interest. The algorithm connects these seemingly unrelated digital behaviors to build comprehensive interest profiles without ever accessing audio data. The social proof mechanisms in these advertising systems also demonstrate information conservation principles. When people in your network engage with certain types of content or advertisements, that engagement information propagates to connected users through recommendation algorithms. Your friends' digital behaviors influence your advertising experience through mathematical relationships that preserve the statistical properties of social influence while protecting individual privacy. But perhaps the most sophisticated aspect is how these systems handle what computer scientists call negative signals, information about what you don't want or don't respond to. Just as Emmy Noether's conservation laws account for all energy transformations, including losses and inefficiencies, advertising algorithms track engagement failures and rejection patterns to refine their targeting. Every ad you ignore, every promotional email you delete, every product you view but don't purchase becomes data that shapes future predictions. The temporal patterns in your digital behavior also provide powerful predictive signals. Sleep schedules, meal times, work patterns, weekend activities all create behavioral rhythms that algorithms can exploit for optimal advertisement timing. These temporal signatures are so distinctive that they function like digital fingerprints, allowing systems to make personalized predictions without explicit identification. The integration of offline purchase data through loyalty programs and credit card partnerships adds another dimension to this digital omniscience. When you buy products in physical stores, that purchase information often flows back to digital advertising networks through data brokers and retail partnerships. The system learns to connect your digital behavior patterns with actual purchasing decisions, improving future predictions. Artificial intelligence systems also employ what machine learning researchers call look-alike modeling, finding users with similar behavioral patterns and assuming they'll have similar interests and purchasing behaviors. If your digital footprint resembles that of users who recently purchased outdoor equipment, you'll start seeing camping and hiking advertisements, even if you've never explicitly searched for those products. The privacy implications of these systems extend far beyond simple microphone surveillance. While your phone may not be listening to your conversations, it's analyzing your digital behavior with mathematical sophistication that reveals intimate details about your personality, relationships, financial situation, health concerns, and future plans. This represents a form of surveillance that Emmy Noether would recognize as following conservation principles. Information extracted from your digital interactions must equal information available for predictive targeting. The economic incentives driving these systems create feedback loops that continuously improve targeting accuracy. Every successful advertisement, every click, every purchase, every engagement provides data that strengthens the predictive models. Failed advertisements also provide valuable information about prediction errors, allowing systems to continuously refine their behavioral understanding through machine learning algorithms that adapt to changing patterns. Regulatory responses to these practices often focus on microphone access permissions while missing the more sophisticated behavioral tracking that actually drives personalized advertising. Users can disable microphone access for apps while still experiencing seemingly telepathic advertisement targeting because the real data collection happens through channels that don't require explicit audio surveillance. The future evolution of these systems point toward even more sophisticated behavioral prediction that will make current capabilities seem primitive. Integration with Internet of Things devices, biometric sensors, augmented reality systems, and brain-computer interfaces could provide unprecedented insight into human thoughts and intentions without ever recording a single word of conversation. Understanding these mechanisms doesn't necessarily make them less unsettling, but it does shift the privacy conversation toward more accurate concerns about behavioral tracking versus microphone surveillance. The digital advertising industry has created information conservation systems that extract behavioral energy from every internet interaction and transform it into targeted marketing pressure with mathematical precision. The next time you see an advertisement for something you just mentioned in conversation, remember that you're not experiencing audio surveillance, you're witnessing the power of information conservation applied to human behavior prediction. Your phone doesn't need to listen to your words because it's already reading the digital story of your life through patterns that follow the same mathematical principles Emmy Noether discovered in physical systems. The algorithm isn't violating your conversational privacy. It's demonstrating how information conservation laws allow complex systems to make accurate predictions from seemingly unrelated data sources. The surveillance is more sophisticated than simple eavesdropping, and the privacy implications are correspondingly more complex and profound than most people realize.